This is part 7 of the pawn. The detective nodded. Sure he did, but that ain't saying that I'm taking no butler's word for it, is it? Now what kind of a detective would you think I was if I did that, huh? He looked to Terry for confirmation, meanwhile making futile efforts to light his cigar stump, which was so dead and useless as to be beyond all redemption. Terry said nothing, but the detective leaned forward in a sudden burst of confidence. We really don't suspect you, Mr. Lenihan, we know all about you, but there's some funny things about this here case that I thought you might have some kind of an angle on. Well, why don't you tell me all about it? Answered Terry. I was very fond of old Martin Grimm, but your suspicion of me rather drove the shock of the affair right out of my mind. How can I help you in any way unless you tell me all the circumstances? All I know is that he was alive and healthy when I left him last night. The circumstances is peculiar, replied the sleuth. I'll tell you what we know. Good. Have a cigar? Terry started toward his humidor. The body was already cold, yet the eyes suddenly had opened wide. Thanks, yes. The man from headquarters accepted the gift, taking it from Terry's hand and putting it into his vest pocket. I'll save it for after lunch, this here one'll do now. Terry nodded. He thought he never had seen a more durable cigar. Well, anyway, Central answers the call, see, but there is no response. See? Terry nodded. You mean she answered the signal but heard no voice? That's right. Well, the receiver stayed off for a long time and Central gets no answer, but finally she gets the idea that everything ain't all right there, that something funny is happening. So she tells the head operator about it. The head operator tells it to the police, and headquarters gets in touch with the cop on the beat, who goes to Grimm's home and wakes the butler. The butler don't know nothing about it, but he and the cop goes into the living room, and that's where they found it. It? Yes, the body of Martin Grimm, said the detective succinctly. Terry was silent, but his gaze was inquiring, and the detective went on. Yes, there was Martin Grimm, already getting cold in death, sitting at the telephone. Terry started, but caught himself before it was perceptible. At the telephone? He inquired. Yes, at the telephone. Sitting at his table with the receiver at his ear and his mouth open, almost as though he was speaking into the phone. He was propped up on his elbow, and that held the body erect. It looked almost like he were just engaged in a conversation, but when they touched him, he collapsed in a heap to the floor, and they picked him up and put him on the couch. They examined him carefully, and there wasn't a mark on him. They called the doctor, and he said it must have been heart disease. To be continued in part 8 of The Pawn. Hey there! If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. By subscribing to XOXO Gossip Lips, you won't miss out on any of our future videos packed with entertainment, knowledge, and fun. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Happy watching! Cheers!